What makes the perfect gaming monitor? There are obviously tons of options to play with. These are all OLED models from Asus ROG. We've had 48s, 42s, 27, 49 inches, but we haven't had a 32-inch, which is where this guy comes in. The new ROG, let me get this right, PG32UCDM, the world's first 32-inch 4K 240Hz OLED gaming monitor, and it is nuts. Now, I have been told there's only one of these monitors here at Gamescom, so I probably shouldn't auction it off. So ROG are showing off everything from Wi-Fi 7 routers to these insane desktop builds, but I'm here for this, and also this. The 32-inch on my left and 34-inch ultra-wide on my right are the two brand new monitors being unveiled here at Gamescom. Both 240Hz OLEDs, although the key differences are the 34 is Quad HD ultra-wide rather than 4K 16:9. It also uses a WOLED panel rather than QD-OLED, so it can actually get a little bit brighter. It's also matte rather than glossy, and it'll be a touch cheaper and also come out a little bit sooner. I'll come back to this in a second. But for me, it's this one I'm most excited about because it does everything but make you breakfast in the morning. 4K 240Hz refresh rate with a 0.03 millisecond gray-to-gray response time and also up to 1000 nits of brightness. It uses a new custom graphene heatsink, so unlike some rival OLEDs, there's no active fan whirring away at the back, and it also helps prevent burn-in and maintain the higher brightness. Speaking of which, for this QD-OLED panel, the HDR brightness tops out at 1000 nits on a 3% window. Although since sustained full screen brightness tops out at around 250 nits, this still does only hit the Display HDR True Black 400 standard. I was talking to my buddy Vincent about this and how these ratings can be a little bit misleading, but I think that's a conversation for another video. ROG have also added their uniform brightness feature, because normally with OLEDs like this, if you take a small bright window and then full screen it, the whole display dims. It can't cope with that level of brightness across the whole panel. Whereas with uniform brightness turned on, it stays, well, uniform. It stays the same, which is a much nicer experience. It's also worth mentioning that while the WOLED panel in the 34-inch can get a little bit brighter, we're talking 1300 nits versus 1000, the benefit I'm told of the QD-OLED on the 32-inch is better color volume and also slightly sharper text and fine detail. Compared to WOLEDs, which have a white subpixel alongside the RGB, text can sometimes appear a bit grainy and pixelated. Although Asus do tell me that they've improved the algorithms, so this should be less of an issue across all their new OLED displays. Round the back, below the fancy new heatsink and also the ROG logo, we have a very healthy range of ports. For your PC, you've got DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC or Display Stream Compression. The HDMI 2.1 is great for hooking up your PS5 or Xbox. And then we have USB-C, which is also DSC compliant and offers up to 90-watt power delivery. So if you want to output from your laptop and it maybe doesn't have an HDMI, you can use the USB-C and get the full 4K at 240 Hz. Sadly, we don't have any speakers built in, although there is a headphone jack. We also get FreeSync Premium Pro and G-Sync compatibility to help reduce screen tearing and smooth out your frame rate. And speaking of frame rate, as amazing as the 4K 240Hz sounds, don't forget you'll need an incredibly powerful PC to hit those frame rates and actually max this guy out. And lastly, both the 32 and 34-inch have what ROG call their smart KVM switch, which essentially lets you use one set of peripherals that you plug into the monitor, like your mouse and keyboard, across two sources, like your laptop and your desktop, and you can drag files between them. Although the 32-inch only supports picture-in-picture mode, whereas the 34-inch ultra-wide offers picture-by-picture, which makes a bit more sense as you have the extra screen space. I am curious though what you guys think about glossy versus matte on an OLED display like this. The 32-inch is glossy, the 34-inch is matte, and normally I am team matte, but while it does pick up more reflections, that glossy screen really does show off the contrast and inky blacks of the OLED. But what about you, team matte or team glossy? So the Asus ROG PG32UCDM, which rolls off the tongue, will cost around $1,500 when it launches early next year, so there is a bit of a wait for this one. Although the 34-inch will be coming out before the end of the year, so probably around November-ish, and will cost a little bit less, around $1,200 or $1,300, although nothing's fully confirmed just yet. But the question is, which one of these would you go for? Let me know in the comments below, and also drop me a comment if you've got any questions about these. I will be reviewing this hopefully in a few months. This guy comes out a little bit later, so make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button, also ding that bell and all those horrible YouTube cliches so you don't miss my full review. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Channel.